Welcome back to Fire Force Anime Review, episode number 28. This I'm reviewing the 32nd episode of the anime, Smoldering Malevolence, and 3 chapters of the Fire Force manga, 235 to 237. Now, as for this episode of the anime, you'd probably be curious though, what chapters does this one adapt? From what I can tell, it adapts pretty much the entirety of chapters 116 to 118, thus making the current arc it's working on having only 4 chapters left, because last week was down to 7, this week is down to 3. It was basically down to, last week was down to 7, this week is down to 4. Yep. So I think that in the case of this arc, it'll probably wrap up, because they're apparently doing like 3 chapters per episode now. It'll probably wrap up in 2 weeks. Well, basically, by episode number 10. That's probably when the 35th episode series. This episode picks up exactly where last week left off, where you have Shira overhearing a voice. Yeah, and this voice turns out to be a mysterious woman, which they don't say the name of the woman. Basically, she's dressed all in black, with look like some shred of like tears in her outfit. Though they do make a slight change to her face. Because in the manga, it's just basically like a white face with a colored in eye. In the anime, they added like lines on her face, which that was fine. It's a minor change, to say the least. They explained, thanks to the Talking Bull and the Talking Crow, that she was their savior and she was one kind of created their oasis. And they don't know when. And they asked like, when was the tabernacle built? They don't have any idea. This osmosis, this basically this big huge generator. They don't know when it was built, but who built it. But it was probably 200 years prior to the series. So he goes a bit of explanation, and this one was also responsible for giving the Talking Bull the scarf the scarf around on his neck, and the Talking Bird, where she's the one putting them on them. She bit these things come from her outfit. Yeah, but it's later shown she's an Adoling. Why the heck she's there? Don't have any idea. It's possible this woman might be the first pillar. It is distinctly possible this might be her, but she doesn't say anything. So after explaining her, of course, they split into 2 groups. We have just Arthur, Victor, and Vulcan go inside to look around. And of course, they have this whole thing with Inferno show up before that. And of course, they really battle them. Talking about just don't damage the area, don't damage the tabernacle. And then they split up into 2 teams. The other half basically is comprised of Juggernaut, Tabaki, and Shira. Excuse me. And of course, well, this one thing I thought was really neat. The Talking Bird sits on Victor's head, and the mole sits on Shira's. I'm surprised the Talking Bird doesn't go on Tabaki's head. That would be hilarious. So they pretty much spend the rest of the episode fighting the Infernals. And then the episode ends with Arthur pointing out numbers where they're actually just pi. And they're like, how did you know that? I'm in that round table, that's why I know it. Yeah, that's simply it. I think there's some minor cuts here and there, but I think the only thing they cut off from this episode was seeing Giovanni. Yeah, they cut that off from this episode. Mostly put, I gotta say, for an adaptation wise, it's pretty faithful to the source material. Like, visually wise, not much different. I mean, the only change they made was the mysterious woman who basically touched Shira in the Idola Link. Of course, they mentioned the Evangelist in this episode. He doesn't make a physical appearance, obviously. But this episode overall was really good, and the next episode is called The Core. Now, as far as I can tell for English dub-wise release, they've not stated exactly when it's going to release. Now, for Asagi-chan wants to hang out, that is definitely going to have a new episode next week. This series, don't know, so going to have to wait for that. Okay, now there has been 3 chapters released since the last episode aired. First up, it is The Savior. Chapter begins with seeing Juggernaut looking and seeing at the spiral. I thought it was a wheel. Yeah, just a Titan. We have the guy from Hidden Entry is talking to, I think it's the captain of Company 2, actually 4, where they just talk for a while. And then, of course, well, then we have, I think this is supposed to be a member of the White Class Soldiers. I'm not really sure. We see the people talking on television. We see the moon looking the way it does. Yeah, that's the artist for you. The same person who worked on Soul Eater, and the fact thing happens to be like that. And then you see a mysterious old man named Ruffles. Avon the Great Pillar Titan. Ruffles 1. And then he pretty much kind of looked like he merged with Titan. And he's like, lump. He even thought it was erupting. Then, of course, Shira shows up and basically causes mayhem. Actually, at first we see that our reporter has turned into an inferno. And then we have a Superman reference. What is that? It's a bird? It's a plane? It's Stop the Cataclysm Man. A superhero? Yeah, that was quite something. The fact they had a Superman reference in here. Because that's a Superman reference. It's a bird, it's a plane, it's Superman. Yeah, it's basically a Superman reference. That's basically what it is. And yeah, Ruffles, Patrick, it's basically the Emperor, who's basically a flaming facial hair. Everybody's watching us, and the chapter ends with Shira and the Patriarch just staring at each other. Yeah, not much really accomplished with this one, but now I'm on to another one. Another reunion. This is chapter 236. Then we have people, we see Juggernaut basically there. Shira focus on Titans, like Roger, the 8th. And company was like, what are you traders doing here? And then Vulcan points out, though, how about you save that kind of talk for another time? What are you planning to do if you want? Shira, I'll cover for you. Don't worry, I'll handle this, huh? Umado, like, my partner is stronger. And of course, they mentioned the Chinese Peninsula, like when you took out that demon in the Chinese Peninsula. The lightning speed kick. And he jumps. And then you have the Lieutenant basically pointing a scale shield around everybody. I think this is Spirit of Company 4. Of course, yeah, I'll talk about Company 4. Yeah, it says you can put them to rest. He gets basically pushed down. And then one member is the White Clad Soldiers. The guy with the pointy arrows. It's not arrows, it's one of the other guys. They fight him. And then, of course, Shira reunites with his brother Sho. He says, what are you doing, brother? I just rushed off a hole like that seeing flesh. I can't even tell which way I'm falling. One scuba light speed kicking outside the atmosphere. I gotta make some sure I'm safe before I can show. Yeah, he's like, Show! And of course, Show is basically blushing the fact his brother's hugging him. Yep. Of course, he asks, I'm sure, what are you doing here? Are you alright? Nothing about you. We can talk later. Yep. For right now, you do your best, brother. The word is you know you're a hero. Yeah, that's why heroes here. Yeah. Good, though, the fact that Sherry reunited with Show. Yeah, and he explains that the cataclysm is the explosion of human ideas. If your actions can bring hope to humanity, their thoughts of hope can overflow and prevent destruction of the world. Because you're not a devil, let everyone know who the real hero is. I know I'm not a devil. The world needs to know, let me know. Needs me as a hero. So he starts his fight with the Patriarch. Laser. Yep. Fight, fight, fight. Eric of course is worried about Shira. Then looks like he merges with the Titan. And more Titan and more Inferno, more demons come out. Yeah. And then the Titan just explodes. We see Shira hopping around. It's like Shira got a different vibe to him. And Shira's like his brother's a true hero. A hero finishes things with a single blow. And he's about to take on the Giant Titan. Yep, next one's called That Figure. I gotta say, not much progression in these chapters, but at least we're progressing forward. Probably the most interesting thing that happened in these chapters is basically 236, where Shira reunites with his brother. Quite awesome, to say the least. I'm gonna give all 3 chapters roughly 9 out of 10. Good chapters, with a little bit of regression here and there. Okay, so that's it for particular review, and I don't think I have time to do more videos tonight because it's like half hour before midnight. So, expect to see reviews tomorrow for Is Around Chamber Goes Dungeon. Case closed. Let's see. Blue Access, yes, that came out. I'll do a review of that tomorrow. And probably also One Punch Man and also more Naruto, okay? To next video. Bye.